Listen, I'm easy to find. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
Yo, what's going on YouTube? Happy Friday. Nathan back with another video presentation. I apologize for getting my headset adjusted. This is episode 11 of the podcast. I hope everybody had a great week. Hope everybody's staying safe, warm. Before we get into the video, there's a few things I need to say up front. I do apologize again if I have not had the recent episodes uploaded on Anchor via Spotify. I do apologize for that. This weekend, I will definitely get on that. That is my assignment. I have it right here on my little bulletin board. Get those episodes uploaded on Anchor via Spotify. As far as season 5 goes, I still have not made a determined date of when that'll end. Most likely, we're going to push it probably close to the Super Bowl. We're probably going to wait until after football's over, and then we're going to end season 5. As far as the podcast goes, going into like season 6 or not, we're going basically it's going to be a lot of college basketball, NBA, as well as also WNBA Offeason. And then also to break down the offseason, we got to get into the offseason for the NFL, particularly for the Washington football team and the Ravens. So just be on the lookout for that. If you like the videos that you're seeing, the content, want to see more, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, along notification bells on. Again, I do appreciate the support having been on the channel. In this episode, this is going to be kind of brief today. This is the last week of the NFL. Can't believe that. We survived 18 weeks. Got to talk about the Ravens playing Pittsburgh, Washington versus the Giants, the Chargers versus the Raiders. They determine the fate of the playoffs. I'm going to give my Week 18 picks. Going to talk about Antonio Brown. He's in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. And then for basketball, the Wizards lost tonight against the Bulls. A very, very looking very lopsided loss. And then also the night before, lost the Rockets. And our announcer, I have his name, made some comments that were very egregious. What's his name? Glenn Consor. I thought that was very, very inappropriate. He made some very inappropriate comments regarding Kevin Porter Jr. for the Rockets. And then obviously college basketball, we got the Maryland Terps. They lost tonight as well to Illinois. We played Wisconsin. The women rebounded with a big win against Penn State, a very one-sided win against Penn State. And when they play Minnesota this weekend, the women, Towson Basketball, their game against Delaware for the women, their game got postponed as well. They did beat Elon University today. And the men, I believe as well, their game against Delaware was postponed. The men. So the next game is Northeastern. That's a home game. It's getting crazy out here. But also shout out to Anthony Handy, Alabama versus Georgia State, the college football championship preview. I'll give a little preview on that. My prediction. There is a video. There's a piece of tape. Please forgive me. I don't know if he jinxed y'all Bulldog fans, but I hope he didn't. Again, this is day 37 of the Major League Baseball strike. There's just been no progression, no nothing with that. And then also, we're getting to the WNBA offseason. So with that being said, let's get into it. This is a home game for the Ravens. As I figured and saw it coming, Lamar Jackson will not be playing Sunday, as he's now missed his 4th game with an ankle injury, and Tyler Huntley will step in there and in his place. Patrick Ricard and I think it was Nick Boyle that were placed on the COVID reserve list. So that kind of sucks. However, the Steelers, they have Deontay Johnson and Kendrick Green on the COVID list. Isaiah Buggs as well. He's been sick with an illness. Buddy Johnson's not. He's probably not. He's been ruled out. We have Dan Moore didn't practice because they played Monday. He suffered an ankle injury, so he's out most likely. And then Joe Hayden too. So most likely it's going to be kind of interesting. Now, Big Ben did practice. He has like a pectoral on his injury in his right shoulder, so he's going to play. Robert, what's good, bro? Good to see you. So looking at it from that perspective, a couple things. So supposedly Sunday here in the DMV is supposed to be freezing rain, and most likely we're going to be running the ball, which makes sense to me. I really think this whole season for the Ravens, Sean, what's good, man? Good to see you. Has been really, really disappointing. Let's just call it what it is. From injuries to COVID, I think Lamar Jackson not playing is the best thing that can happen for the Ravens. I'm going to tell you why. It's the best thing because if I'm Lamar Jackson, I'm sitting back and I'm looking at it and see, okay, there needs to be some changes, because really, honestly, truthfully, the Ravens need a lot of retooling in the offseason to do. And we're going to get more into that as the season, at the end of the season, whatever happens, whether we make the playoffs or not. Now, this is Big Ben's last hurrah. I'm really happy it's ending this way. Because we all know Pittsburgh and Baltimore is one of the best rivalries in football. It was actually Cleveland. That was actually his worst game. He threw 46 passes and only had 123 yards. Don't know what it's going to look like against Baltimore, and particularly in this weather. Don't have Deontay Johnson. Chase Claypool's been and Freiermuth. So they're probably going to give Najee Harris the ball. They're going to rely on him more. But again, I mean, we got some much needed help. We lost Khalil. I mean, the injuries to that secondary, it's just been and so you could just see it. I mean, as far as when it comes to passing the ball, we're last. I mean, we're getting up 282 yards a game, and that's the last 6 years. We were always respectable in the top 10. I agree. This game is meaningless, almost not the same. Yeah, it's not because of injuries and that both teams they're just lacking. They're just really lacking identity to me honestly. TJ Watt most likely could get the sacks. He's already at 21.5. I think TJ Watt will break Michael Strahan's sack record. Guaranteed. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. Happy Friday. Injuries, attrition, age. I mean, it's not the same. I mean, but these two teams, we all know, like when the rivalry when that was at its peak, both teams brought it, and it's not the same. Not Not this year, at least. Bro, you need to get used to Cincinnati leading the division. No, Cincinnati can they can enjoy this moment. They can have their fun with it. Anthony was good. I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to win by a field goal, 24-21.
Guaranteed.
He said no. No, Cincinnati can enjoy their moment at the top. My only thing is with Huntley, I mean, he's put us in positions to win. It's all about executing when it comes down to the last minute. I don't think we'll see a 2-minute, 2-point conversion. I don't think we'll see that. I think it's going to come down to who can make the first move. So, as this is Big Ben's last game, as a Raven fan, it's sad. He actually, if you think about it from my perspective, he actually has always played like a Raven. Man, he's been the most consistent quarterback for the last, decade and then some change. So, a 2-minute conversion good for 5 points in 120 seconds. Yeah, so, I mean, whatever happens out there, it's honestly the end of an era for now. It's a new chapter. This chapter will close and start up a new chapter of this rivalry. But both of these teams, they'll be back at the top in a couple years.
Guaranteed.
Let's transition to Washington versus the New York G-Men. This is another meaningless game. The Washington football team's out the playoffs, and I mean, you want to send some guys on a high note. I mean, Heineke's starting. I mean, most likely there's going to be guys out there who's going to be starting who would be a good fit for next year, because regardless, some of this talent on the team this year, like, we're going to have to talk about Curtis Samuel, first year in his contract. Awful. I mean, I get it with the injuries, but if I sign a guy and he's already this far in his first year of his contract with injuries, it's going to be a problem. Yami Brown was looking for him to have kind of a big year. We signed Charles Leno to a 3-year deal, a 3-year extension. There's not much to say about that one. Yeah, I agree. I really, really think I don't expect it to be like week 2. I don't expect it to be like week 2. I'm going to say the Washington football team 17-10.
Guaranteed.
And then also, too, we got the name change coming up. I think it's next month. So I'm kind of nervous on what that is. Yeah, I mean, we get Chase. I mean, we're gonna get some guys back. Logan Thomas, Chase Young. We're gonna have to rebuild for depth, because I mean, looking at some of the positions, we really lack some depth. And I can say that for both teams. My money's on Commanders. Oh my God, Washington Admirals. Yeah, these are going to be two meaningless games, honestly. But I think that's my score. So I think and that Jake Fromm should be starting in this game because, I mean, I think he's shown potential to me. But I mean, he's building off something because this free agency class for this year is for quarterbacks is weak. Sunday Night Football, the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Oakland Raiders. I don't know what to really expect. The last time these two met was back in week 4. The Chargers beat them 28-14. I really thought the Chargers would have been that team this year. I really thought they would have. Like, where is it? The Chargers can win, but the win or tie. And same thing with the Raiders. Win, tie, and Indianapolis loses, or the Colts lose, and Steelers lose. So the Ravens can win, can make the playoffs with a win. Indianapolis loses, San Diego, and Miami. These are so weird. I don't really. I mean, something just tells me, like the way just the Oakland Raiders are, you just don't know what to expect. I mean, the offense for Los Angeles is pretty damn good. They average 28 points a game, over almost 400 yards. They're in the top 10 in both categories. Their defense is mediocre. I mean, Justin Herbert, 35 touchdowns, 14 picks, almost like 4,700 yards. Like in his second year, he's delivered his expectation. But I really think need to jump in. No, I'm okay. I'm just trying to get my thoughts together. But you're more than welcome to join. Let me send the thing out to you. I think the Los Angeles Chargers (23-20).
Guaranteed.
That's the score. I vote no on that, Robert. Let's transition to Mr. Antonio Brown. In the last episode, we talked about what happened against the Jets, and Mr. Antonio Brown seems to find himself again in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Last episode, I talked about from two different. I attacked the plate from two different perspectives, as from the teammate and obviously a guy who needs help. Now I'm attacking I attack the corners, and look at the guy at work. now I've attacked the corners of the plate. Now I can pitch the ball anywhere because I know he's going to swing it. Now I know he's going to swing for it. Antonio Brown is now moving the goalposts, now burning bridges. Now he's trying to make it point out that he's the victim. Now, gotta give a shout out to those in the chat right now. David, Robert, Sean, we were all there was a chat that we're in. There was he's everywhere except where I want him to be, not American Express. A real thoughtful letter that was written by his agent. Pretty much summarizing the letter, he's basically saying he was too injured to play. He didn't want to go in the game. And Courtney and Bruce Arians said, "That's it, you're done." And Antonio stormed off in disgust. Now, one, again, I told you in the last video, if I was told you can walk, you can play. And there was another piece of evidence. It was a screenshot, a text message of what looked to be a text message between Antonio Brown and Bruce Arians, pretty much saying Antonio's like, man, I really can't, I'm gonna deal with an ankle injury, can't play. And then Bruce saying, okay, come see me before the game and we'll see what's going on. So here it is. Now that he's been officially released from Tampa, hate it or love it. Now he's throwing more. Now he's attacking Antonio Brown. So he was on the Full Send podcast, and a couple things he talked about. He's basically saying that Tom Brady helped Rob Gronkowski to get paid. And, quote, this is what he said. If Tom Brady's my boy, why am I playing for an earnest salary? You're my boy, though, right? Gronkowski is his boy. How much did he get paid? So why is AB on a prove-it deal? Who's better than me out over there? Let's be real. Let's go down the list. Mike Evans is better than Antonio Brown. Chris Godwin's better than Antonio Brown. Rob Gronkowski. We can even put some other guys there too. This Grayson kid that stepped up in your place is actually proven to be pretty good. But here's the thing. He was supposed to get incentives on his contract. I think he could get up to like, I want to say it was like $500,000, $800,000 in incentives. And he just wasn't getting the ball, as David right here is saying. I agree. The injury didn't have to do. It's all about the money, of course. Absolutely, David. It's all about the money. And the underdog's on top, and I'm nourishing until my heart stopped. 50 Cent, Bobby, you did that, sir. Your fault. Oh, gosh. Yeah, he's finished there. There's not much to say with David. Yeah, I was on this side, too. I was trying to figure out why, but Antonio Brown's burning bridges. And on top of that, here's a guy in Tom Brady that's not only looked out for you not once, but twice. He wanted you to come to New England, and he had those sexual allegations against him. But once again, it goes back to Antonio Brown's camp. When you're on top, when you're around enablers, and I'm going to get into this with basketball, with Julius Randle and Zion, when you're around enablers, when you're around yes people that don't show you the right from wrong and about how you go about things, all they just keep doing is, yes, keep doing that. Yes, keep doing that. Because it's all about the money. My thing is, if all that was all to go away tomorrow, where are his people at then? They got their money and they're good. You see a guy that clearly needs help, but to have a guy go on a podcast and the same guy take shots at that I looked out for not once but twice to be on the team with me. You got a championship, and let's call it what it is. You look fine out there. Just say, hey, I'm a little frustrated. There's better ways you could have handled that. But Antonio Brown, and look, nobody claimed him. So, I mean, again, who wants this kind of distraction on their team? And then they came out today, today and say, is Antonio Brown a Hall of Famer? I mean, he has good numbers, but they're not Hall of Fame. No disrespect to Antonio. I think Antonio was a good football player. But we just can't put everybody in the Hall of Fame. If that's the case, then I got to put Torrey Smith in the Hall of Fame. No disrespect to Torrey, but there needs to be some type of requirements. Does Antonio Brown have an MVP? Has he led the league in receiving yards for more than 5 years? I mean, come on. I mean, what's the criteria? You can't just throw everybody in the Hall of Fame like that. Who's enabling him? Tampa. He's enabling anywhere. They all are. Even Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. No one's enabling him in Tampa. I'm talking about his camp, Bobby. His camp, because because the people around him obviously aren't checking him and trying to get him the help he needs. That's what I'm talking about. So, I'm going to continue to pray for Antonio Brown. I mean, he's clearly somebody that needs help, and I mean, truly, honestly, ever since the Burfict hit, even though we've got stuff before that when he was in college, but really since then, it's just been something. You're just seeing the demise of him. Yes, I agree. This is the comment right here. I think there's a fine line between mental health and being an asshole. And he's further. Yeah, I agree with it. 1,000%. This man needs help. Burfict did it. It's true. He had character issues before Burfict. Yes. Yep, you're right. You guys are 100% right. And also, too, this is a good tool for scouting to really see what the type of players that you're getting for your team, because these are kind of the players you want to stay away from. I mean, if the talent's there, is great. You want to get him, I'm all for it. But you need to ensure that there's some mentoring going on. And again, that goes back to what I said. I don't think there's really been, other than maybe you could say Hines Ward, Heath Miller, Big Ben, but Antonio Brown, we could put him in that list of divas. Let's transition to week 18 of my picks. A couple games we got today, which is Saturday. We got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Denver Broncos. The Kansas City Chiefs are beating the Denver Broncos 35-3. Guaranteed. Talent hides issues. I agree. The Dallas Cowboys are playing the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't expect to see Dak or Zeke playing. I don't really see most of the starters in the game because they have nothing to play for than the Philadelphia. But Philly's already in. The Philadelphia Eagles will beat the Cowboys 24-21. Guaranteed. Baker Mayfield's not playing against the Bengals as he's getting surgery on his shoulder. And also, too, well, we'll get into that a little bit. Baker Mayfield definitely had some words for the Cleveland media. So, Mr. Case Keenum, if it helps, I took Philly and my pick'ems, Nate. Thank you. I appreciate that. 17-13. Okay, I like that, Bobby. I think the Cleveland Browns, 21-17. Guaranteed. The Detroit Lions are beating the Green Bay Packers 27-21. Guaranteed. Is Baker gone next year? No, I don't think he's gone. I think there needs to be some addressing of the play calling. My thing is who's like, here's the question. I've asked a couple times now. If Baker's gone next year, who's his replacement? Case Keenum? Like, that's who you're going to rely on him? Baker Mayfield, honestly and truthfully, has been their best quarterback since 1999. That's a fact. He's probably been the most – of all the quarterbacks they had in Cleveland, he's the best. He needs to address this option. I think he stays, but I think a lot of it has to be the play call. I think some of it has to look – we have to look at Kevin Stefanski. There were times where we this season we questioned why Kareem Hunt and Nicky Chubbs weren't getting the ball. And then on top of that, the whole Odell thing. Tim Couch did not have he had no team around that. That man had no team around him. Stop it, Bobby. Don't get me started on that, man. Don't do it. Tim Couch had no help for 5 years in Cleveland. That is a fact. Oh my goodness. But no, the reason why I think the Lions are going to win, I don't expect Aaron Rodgers. I expect the stars to be out there probably in the first half. They were hurt most of the year. Yes, then that's true. They were. They'll move Baker. They'll have to. Where it is, the locker room turned on them when OBJ left. And that locker room, you know what? I'm gonna leave that alone. Because them brothers ain't playing. Because that defense, particularly in that locker room, that defense was supposed to be all world, and they mad at Baker. They should be mad at themselves. I'm gonna leave that alone. But I hear you, David. I don't think Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, and I think the star's going to play like the first half, and that's it. Odell was not the problem. Stay woke. Wow. Now, Kevin Stefanski. The Indianapolis Colts will beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 43-10. Guaranteed. That the defense kept him in the playoff hunt. Yeah. Had its moments, though. The Chicago Bears play the Minnesota Vikings. Really quick, want to send a shout-out, happy birthday to my man Nick Rosario Jr. This is for you, big dog. The Chicago Bears are beating the Minnesota Vikings 31-21. Guaranteed. Hope you had a good birthday and have a good, safe weekend as well. Let's see. The Tennessee Titans are beating the Houston Texans. Guaranteed. The New Orleans Saints are making the playoffs. I'm sorry, Anthony. Guaranteed. I think they're going to beat the Atlanta Falcons 27-17. The Seattle Seahawks versus the Arizona Cardinals. Let's see. I'm trying to see. I'm looking at my playoff picture. The Cardinals can clinch the NFC West with a win, and the Rams losing. So wait. So what if both teams win? That's what's throwing me off, because I think both teams could actually win, low key. I think the Arizona Cardinals will win 27-18. Guaranteed. I'm trying to figure out how that would work, because the Los Angeles Rams are beating the San Francisco 49ers, and Cooper Kupp will break the record. I'm looking along the lines of 32-24. Guaranteed. Man, don't know. The Buffalo Bills are beating the New York Jets. Where's my clip? Guaranteed. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are beating the Carolina Panthers. Guaranteed. And the New England Patriots are beating the Miami Dolphins. I'm sorry, Bobby. Guaranteed. And obviously, we already got the Chargers and Rays already guaranteed that. Those are my picks for this week, the last week of the season. We're going to transition into news around the NFL. The Panthers, that's a good segue to the Panthers. They're actually going to listen to offers for Christian McCaffrey. I think that's sad. Honestly, to give up on a guy that soon, I get it with the injuries. I mean, he's only been with the team. Well, this is his fourth fifth year. This would be what would have been his 5th year. I get it. Me personally, I think it's the way the team was constructed. I mean, we've said it a couple times. They have no offensive line. Yeah, I know we like to ruin their shit, though. I agree. Yeah, I agree. They had no offensive line. Defensively, I think they got some pieces, but they have no. I think Christian McCaffrey is their identity. And then Luke, when you trade Curtis Samuel, DJ Moore and him were like 2 peas in a pod. I think they kind of complemented each other. And then again, Cam Newton coming. I was right. I hate to say I was right on that, but I didn't think that was going to work. I mean, if they trade Christian McCaffrey, I mean, you're probably going to get what, first round, mid draft picks. Can't stay on the field. It's a business. Get what you can while the price tag's high. Yeah, but at the end of the day, this is a great example of why you don't draft running backs in the first round. You wait. They're day 2s, day 3s, even day 4s.
Relationship with your children.
My God.
So, Christian McCaffrey, come to the Ravens. We'll take care of you.
Guaranteed.
That's not happening. Cam is finished. Stick with CMC. Well, they're going to have to find a quarterback because obviously the Sam Darnold experiments failed, and no one's highly sold on PJ Walker. So I told y'all before they should have drafted a quarterback. They drafted a DB before he got hurt. Oh, that's right, they did. Yeah. But I think Matt Rowe knows what he has to fix. Clinton Portis sentenced to prison for 6 months in the healthcare fraud scheme I talked about a while ago. Kind of sad, Clinton Portis. With that, I don't understand that. He's made his money in the NFL and taken away from those that really need those benefits. That's crazy to me. And then again, Tom Brady and Antonio Brown also was talking about he's the general manager of the Buccaneers and he can't do shit by himself. I love CP. They didn't build it enough, and now C-Mac is beat up. Took a page out of Arthur. Yeah, yep. Good point, Anthony. Good point. Yeah. Now, there's an offensive coordinator for Alabama that is going to get a job interview. Bill O'Brien next week will be interviewing for the head coaching job of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Relationship with your children.
My God.
I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming. Or act like I know this was coming because I did it.
Interesting. Mr. Shaq Khan has some serious work to do. I don't trust him I don't trust him with finding the right head coach for the job. Yes, I agree. Destroyed Houston. I definitely agree with that. Because it's the same guy that hired Urban Meyer. James has a question. What's your question, James? If Bill O'Brien gets a head coaching gig, I'm just going to sit and laugh. Yeah, I also said they also Bill O'Brien. Now there was a news writer for the NFL. I have a team parlay. Chiefs -2.5 and -2.5 Cowboys. Thank you for taking my question. I've moved the lines. Fellas, what do you think? I think I'm going to say the Chiefs. But Okay, so I'm trying to find the right words with this. So the writer who obviously votes on the MVP made some comments who called about Aaron Rodgers. His name is Hub Arkish. He writes for Nick shot Nick Rosario. Nick Rosario might know this guy. He said, called him a bad guy, called him a jerk, and said he's not voting for him in MVP because there's him and then 40, 50 other voters that get to decide for MVP. And basically he said the reasons why he's not voting for Aaron Rodgers was what happened this past off season. And Aaron Rodgers came out and said, quote, his problem isn't with me being a bad guy or being the biggest jerk in the league because he doesn't know me, doesn't know anything about me. I never met him, never had lunch with him, never had an interview with him. His problem is I'm not vaccinated. And if you look at it, that's kind of one of the reasons why he said he wasn't voting for Aaron Rodgers. And that's not good to me. I don't think it should get personal. Because I feel like MVP is what happens in between those lines, what you do on that field or that court. Excuse me. And yes, I will say this. Aaron Rodgers definitely had a interesting offseason for the wrong reasons, but you cannot ignore what he's doing on the field. But let's keep it real. The MVP is a biased award. It's always given to quarterbacks. That's why I feel like they need to have it a separate award, because I don't know what a guy like Cooper Kupp or Jonathan Taylor or Derrick Henry have to do to garner respect for an award. If I had a vote, Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp are my MVPs. Guaranteed. That's no disrespect to Aaron Rodgers. Here's the thing. You're always going to have a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, like Drew Brees, like Tom Brady, throwing for yards like that. You're always going to see a quarterback having those type of seasons. But we will never see a Cooper Kupp having the seasons he's having, a Jonathan Taylor, a Derrick Henry, a Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce. We will never see guys have seasons like that. And to me, those are like seasons 1 in a billion. And I think that's unfair. That does a disservice to what we're not appreciating the greatness of what we're seeing this year of Jonathan Taylor or Cooper Kupp. You know, we're going to say, oh, they had great years. Man, they should have been MVP. But I guarantee you that you're in here. It is a quarterback award. And Jonathan Taylor is kind of the guy in Indianapolis because they can't trust Carson Wentz. And Cooper Kupp is Matthew Stafford's best target. But I'm just saying, look at what they're doing to their teams. Like Cooper Kupp, I can say make an argument single-handed offensively. He is a spark plug for that offense. Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is better than Derek. Let's start that argument. Not tonight. Maybe another night. That's just my opinion. I think Aaron Rodgers is MVP and most likely will get MVP. But if I had to vote, it's nothing to do with what this Chicago writer on the lines of. I'm looking at what Jonathan Taylor and Cooper Kupp are doing. We won't see seasons like that. Michael Thomas, Calvin Johnson, Derrick Henry, those are 1 in a billion. You're going to get it every year, someone throwing 40 plus touchdowns, over 4,000 yards. You're always going to get that. But that sucks. Obviously, Antonio Brown's a free agent. No one picked him up. J.J. Watt is supposed to be returning from IR. so he could return in the first round of the playoffs. There was some chirping that Teddy Bridgewater, rumors were spread that he could retire, and he shot that down. He's not retiring due to concussion because he had a season-ending concussion on a very, very strange play that was very, very awful to look at. Derek Stingley Jr. declared for the NFL draft. Not surprised, most likely. He'll be a top 10 pick. Justin Fields was placed on the COVID reserve list, so that means Mr. Andy Dalton will be starting. John Madden's funeral will be February 15th. And what's awesome too, I think the game, man. So if the people vote, not a quarterback. No, I mean, what I mean by I'm saying it's a popularity contest. I mean, sometimes I get it. Like, he's having a great year. I mean, he's doing something. He's doing something that's. It's about time for the red rifle to hang it up. But that's something that he's doing. We'll never see. I mean, I don't know if we'll see Cooper Kupp we do have another season like that. Jonathan Taylor. This year, I mean, again, Aaron Rodgers would get my vote, but realistic. I want to see the war. I want to see the MVP go to someone that's not a quarterback. That's just me. That's just me. John Madden's family, when they play when the Raiders play the Chargers, they have the privilege of torching the Al Davis Memorial Torch before the game. I thought that was nice. Yeah. So pretty much that's all around what's happening with the NFL. Let's transition. Dalton is like that one family member that won't give you the hint it's time to go. Oh, wow. I want to transition to college football. The Georgia Bulldogs versus the Alabama Roll Tide. Play Monday, 7 p.m. in Indianapolis on ESPN. Both teams are 13-1. This is what we came. This is what we came for. Anthony still loves Georgia. Let's keep it real. And that SEC championship game, which Alabama won 41-24, Bryce Young threw for 421 yards. We know that. I was actually surprised. I feel like when I look back at that game, Alabama playing Cincinnati, I feel like Alabama was too nice. I feel like they kind of were. Nick Saban contained them, didn't show out their whole true offense. Excuse me. I believe now since 2007, which the Bulldogs won their last game, they've beaten out. They've made it like 8 straight times. Last time was the 2017 season where they won in overtime 26-23, if I remember that correctly. This season, looking back on the whole year, Alabama and Georgia were the best teams. I bet you a pair of shoes. Oh, gosh. Anthony will still love Georgia till he's in the ground and will still be yelling "Go Dogs" from the other side. Nice try, Bobby. I mean, I think we all know what has to happen. I think it's going to just come down to who's just going to wear who out. I do. I'm looking at Georgia when they have the ball. Stetson Bennett seems to be he seems to be the guy. He had a good game against Michigan. They're going to have to really get the offense going early because their defense is no joke. They allowed 19 points a game, under 5 yards of play, and they're almost average like 4 sacks a game. Compared to Georgia's offensive line, I looked at the stats before I started the show. Arguably one of the best offensive lines in college football. I think if they give Mr. Benson time to throw the ball and also to push against that run, I think that's going to be good for Georgia. Now, I already know what Alabama's capable of because Alabama has secret weapons all on that team. But Nick Saban's 4-0. And again, I just feel like I'm looking at both teams that their strength is the trenches, the running. It's whoever breaks first. And I think with Zamir White and James Cook, they're both going to be getting opportunities. I know they haven't been the greatest running team this year, according to the stats that I saw, but I think they're going to go at the Roll Tide. I do. But again, with Alabama, Georgia's secondary does have some questions. They did lose, unfortunately, John Mechie the third towards ACL, and then Benson. I said his name wrong. Bennett. I'm sorry, Stinson Bennett. I apologize. I said his name wrong. I'm sorry. Scoring the second half. Okay. And then also too, Crimson Tide. Their running game is not that great neither. They give the Meach is huge, yes. Score at least 40 points. Put Bryce on the ground, sacks, which I think their defense can do. The question is the secondary. I think they've made the adjustments. I think they have. The biggest thing why Georgia lost against Alabama in the SEC championship, turnovers. Their red zone offense was not that great, and they had a hard time converting on third down. And then on top of that, on the defensive side of the ball, they didn't look that great either. So 0 turnovers. Now, Anthony, I'm sorry in advance. I'm going to share this clip with you so you can see this.
Anthony?
I just want to apologize in advance, Anthony. I'm sorry.
It's that time. The Georgia Bulldogs are going to win the national championship. Oh, yo, this stuff, y'all gotta.
Even the mascot, y'all's mascot was not really pleased with that. I'm sorry. I really am. Yeah, I said all season, as long as our front seven keeps them bought up, secondary can do their job. Tony touch me, a wager on the side, something fun. Yeah, Anthony, I'm sorry. Charles Barkley, he put some oomph in that guarantee as well. I think it's going to be close. 30-27 Georgia.
Guarantee.
But hey, look, and this right, he guaranteed the Milwaukee Bucks to win the championship and the Atlanta Braves. So guess I'm chopped liver like Chuck. Let me transition into the NBA. The Washington Wizards lost to the Chicago Bulls. Once again, offensively, it's there, but defensively, we just have no answers for the Bulls. I mean, I have like if I'm really sitting here going Rui Hachimura and Thomas Bryant, they're coming back from injuries, are supposed to fix this. Like, this is what I'm talking about. It's the little things. If you're watching the games, some of the things that the Wizards are doing on defense, like we're letting Kobe White, Lonzo Ball, and then we had someone named Ayo Damashimi, Doshoni, something like that, like but shooting threes. And Wes Unseld talked about it. Team defense, and there's no intent. There's just no intensity. It just looks like after the third quarter, it's just like throw our hands. Just throw our hands up. Suck. Talk about the Wiz. I mean, Chicago shot 15 of 33 from the three. No transition defense from the Wizards whatsoever. Again, Lonzo Ball and Kobe White and Disomi shot 13 of 19. I mean, again, all five of our starters were in double figures, but when you turn the ball over 15 times and you can't, I mean, in the perimeter, we just look bad. Like, I don't really know. Like, this whole offseason, there was this talk of, oh, yeah, I mean, Tommy Shepard on paper, look, he did a great job building this team. But when you look at it, I mean, guys don't know their roles. I mean, we got guys complaining about not getting the ball. There's no true point guard. It's an obvious mess with the Wizards. And I'm telling you, they're going to have to make some trades. Some guys are going to have to go. Rui Hachimura and Thomas Bryant cannot fix this. It's not. It's not. And it's a complete mess. It really is. Greg Monroe had his debut. He's on a 10-day contract with us. I mean, didn't really do much, but Spencer Dinwiddie, he was on COVID protocol. He only played 31 minutes. Aaron Holiday had 2 points. He also came out of COVID protocols. I mean, even like I even saw for the All-Stars, Bradley Beal wasn't even in the top 10 for guards. Like, and to make it worse, the night before, what was it? On the 5th, we played the Rockets. Wednesday. 114-111. We lost to a team that is arguably in rebuilding mode. That didn't have, like, Houston jumped out in the first 6 minutes of that game Wednesday, 9-0. And then they were at one point, Houston was up by 12, committed 5 turnovers, and missed all of our 3-pointers in the first quarter. Now, Bradley Beal brought us back. But it just seems like, to me, the Washington Wizards pick and choose when they want to play ball. At moments, they show that they balance, and the next minute, they just look like a bunch of guys that just role players. I mean, they like Kevin Porter Jr. And by the way, Mr. You can make sure I have his name right. I don't want to say his name wrong. Mr. Glenn Consul, who made a very ignorant statement about Kevin Porter Jr. hitting the game-winning shot, where he said, quote, Kevin Porter Jr. just like his dad pulled that trigger at the right time. That's a bit insensitive. For those that don't know, no, Kevin Porter, not the one that played for the Washington Wizards, but his dad back in the early 2000s lost his life. And I think to use that reference, I thought that was very, very insensitive on his part. And I really do hope he did reach out to him and did apologize. But this team, we suck. We're below 500. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I love my Wizards. I do. But I cannot tell you how just some of the games that I've seen and the way they play is very, very confusing to me. It really is. Like, I get it with injuries and COVID, it's been crazy for the Wizards. I understand that. But even before the little outbreak that we've had, there have been numerous times they could have made adjustments. And to the point where we shouldn't have coach come out and say, I've had to dumb down the playbook. That says a lot about guys either not knowing the system, or we just got guys that just don't fit this team. And guys got to go. I'm sorry. This is just not going to work. So that was obviously the Bulls and then the Houston Rockets. And we play Orlando Sunday. We better win that game. There's no excuse we should lose to Orlando Magic. But something just tells me, knowing the Wizards, who like to get in a hole, like to fall behind early, not play defense, not connecting on shots, because we're arguably probably the worst three-point shooting team. And, oh my gosh. Let me stop talking about the Wizards before I break my laptop. Around the NBA, Julius Randle made a couple games ago against, I forgot they were playing the Celtics, gave the Knicks fans a thumbs down. Listen, big dog. Julius Randle is a good basketball player. This notion that fans are supposed to be cheering for you all the time when you're good or bad is BS. Listen, when fans will let you know when you're playing like trash, sometimes your criticism comes from fans. Sometimes you have to look at yourself and go, okay, what do I have to do better? When you look at the New York Knicks, they have not exceeded the basketball world's expectations. We thought they would be a little bit better. Evan Fournier in the last game carried them to that win against Boston. Julius Randle's a good player. But here's the thing, though. Julius Randle still is learning to be a leader. But again, it goes back to there's no true veteran on these teams that can really show guys. And that's across the NBA entirely. There's no true veterans that could take someone like Julius and show them and mentor them. This is how you go about it. Because, again, like I said, there are casual fans. There are fans out here, particularly these casuals, that kill me when it comes to sports. When you're playing great, everybody's waving the pom-poms, team this, team that. When your team is mediocre or is trash, you can't find them. And they bandwag to another team. Now, Julius just has to play better, plain and simple. Zion Williamson. Supposedly the Pelicans now took him to Portland, and he's under close supervision when it comes to conditioning. Same thing I talked about with Antonio Brown. It goes back to his camp. Who in his camp is showing him, yo, you're gonna find yourself out the league if you don't get in basketball shape. Like, we're not saying here get to 180 pounds, but you can't. But here's the thing: there's nobody. See, it's tough when because he's the man technically in New Orleans. It's tough when you have who is it, Satoransky and Garrett Temple to go, yo, let's sit down and let's help you figure out what's going on. Because when you look at him, he was the best basketball player in high school, number 1 overall pick coming out of Duke. So now you got to say who has been in his ear to show him, to tell him, yo, we got to get this right. Something's not right here. Because again, it goes back to his camp. I just feel like there's people around him that aren't getting him in the right direction. It's almost kind of like, oh yeah, sure to do that, Zion. Go right ahead, do this, do that, do that. And there's no one checking it, but like, yo, man, like, hold on. Like, I think that's what the sports today is really truly missing. It's really truly missing, particularly in basketball. It's veteran leadership. You don't really have that on the NBA teams. And Zion Williamson, I still believe, I'm still holding out hope that he could be one of the greatest basketball players out here. But like, if I can't get to you, then what else? The Sacramento Kings were fined $50,000, and the GM Wes Wilcox was fined $15,000 for violating league rules. Jason Kidd entered COVID protocol, COVID health and safety COVID protocols. Derek Nowitzki had his jersey retired. The Bucks waived DeMarcus Cousins. That was surprising. Yusef Nurkic and Tyler Hero were both fined $25,000 apiece, if I remember in that game. I mean, that's really what's going on around the NBA. Let me transition to college basketball, Maryland, as the men lost to Illinois 76-64. We're still struggling to get our first Big Ten win of the year. We had no answers against Illinois, as we cannot close out games. Illinois, let's just get it out the way. They dominated us on the offensive side of the ball on the glass. It was like 19-4. They had 26 second chance points compared to our 4. This guy by the name of Kofi Cockburn just roasting these cats. Just no answers. Just no answers for him. Nothing. He had 18 rebounds, 23 points. And then in the second half, 15, and then that was 6 offensive rebounds. To make even matters worse, we had Julian Reese and Kadaris Wahid on him, and they both fouled out the game.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
What the hell was that? I'm pissed off. Get it together. Y'all look like trash.
And then on top of that, we're just having a hard time closing games. I don't know what it is. Like, Danny Manning has these boys balling. I will say that. But against Iowa and Illinois, they can't close that. Like, down the stretch, we look just completely stale. I don't know what it is, but I have seen it they've shown Maryland has shown they could do it. Don't get me wrong, they've shown. But, like, in the second half, for example, Dante Scott was held to 2 points. Illinois took advantage of that, and then that was it. Like, we're not executing down the stretch. And that's going to come when it comes down to March Madness, getting to the NCAA tournament. This is what's going to hurt us. We're now 0-3 since the 1999-2000 season. Like, offensively, still, I'm seeing improvements. But I read an article somewhere. They project Maryland to finish below 500. And 10, like the next 11 games, we've got 2 against Rutgers. We go on the road against Northwestern, Purdue, Michigan State, Ohio State, Michigan, then Wisconsin Sunday, and Johnny Davis, who is looking like a Player of the Year candidate. And then we had no answers for Keegan Murray, and then obviously Mr. Cockburn. So, like, they got to hit. Maryland's got to execute. I think it's coming down to they got to get production from their bench. They've got to hit shots down the stretch, and they have to not be so melancholy with the ball and stop looking at to guys of, okay, what are we doing? There has to be some type of an adjustment to the starting lineup. You should not have 2 guys fouled out on your center. That should not happen. We double teaming him, just finding ways to just have that and then get out rebounded the way we did tonight. We don't look like a March Madness team. We just don't. I'm very disappointed in the Maryland Terrapins right now for the men.
What the hell was that? I'm pissed off. Get it together. Y'all look like trash.
That's my preview for the West. For the Wisconsin, they're going to have to win on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, they're going to get some stops. Make the game simple. The bench has to give me some production. Just bring energy. I think if you do those things, Maryland can win this game Sunday. It's going to be a close one. I'm going to say 77-73.
Guaranteed.
I think if Maryland does those things, because they can't come out against Wisconsin after this performance. You just can't. You can't. And these next games, I think these conference games, they really say a lot about your team and what it says about going forward for March Madness. On the brighter side of things, the Lady Terps, they moved to 11-4 and were 3-1 in the Big Ten. They defeated Penn State 106-78. Where's my clip?
I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming. Or act like I know this was coming because I did it.
First and foremost, I want to send my thoughts and prayers to Faith Mesoanus, who's out for the season after she tore her ACL.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
Diamond Miller, first start of the season after coming off injury, looked really good. She's missed the last 10 games. Oh my gosh. I definitely think she has potential. She's shown in the games that she has played, not just scoring the ball, but I think of her potential. I think her potential is there. Just give her a little bit more time. Ashley Owansu. Okay. Now, let's keep it real. did not have the greatest game against Iowa. Indiana, excuse me. She shot 10 of 41 and turned the ball over 7 times. This time against Indiana, against the Lions, excuse me, they were 8. She shot 8 of 13 and had 5 dime pieces. I just think it's let the game come to you and make the game simple. I think sometimes that Ashley tries to do too much. Let the game come to you. Make plays for the other girls and just play your game. I think if Ashley does that, I think Ashley would be okay. Now, offensively, even though we're top 10 after losing to Indiana, we look better. 90 points per game. Now, I think, again, Maryland's looking really great in the paint. The Lady Lions, they turned the ball over 20 times. Maryland's low-key looking like a good little defensive team. I was actually surprised. We actually cracked 100 points. I said, man, the way that they're playing, they could actually crack 100 points. And there was like 3-something minutes left in the fourth. And they did that. The last time we saw that was against the University of North Carolina at Wilmington. Yes. So, I really did not see this being a close game at all. No disrespect to the Lady Lions. I think they have her name's Allie Brigham. She was injured. Just said she wasn't available. And also, too, they're coming off a 19-day break as well. So they looked a little off too. That's a long break. I don't know what to do with myself for 19 days and as a basketball player. I don't know what to do with that one. That's crazy. Also, too, the same thing with the ladies. They play Minnesota. Same thing. Come out with high energy. I'm looking for Ashley and Diamond Miller to have big games in this. Make the offense simple. Let the game come to you. Create turnovers. Make shots. If I think the offense is always going to go through Ashley and Diamond, Angel, and then also too, you just get a strong paint presence early. I think we're okay. I think Maryland will win this game 90-75.
Guaranteed.
Now, real quick for Maryland football, Mr. Teron Fleet Davis announced he is declaring for the NFL draft. Congratulations, sir. Let's transition real quick into Towson basketball, as we are almost done with the season. We got a couple more months. This first month of January was actually kind of rough. For the women, again, University of Delaware was postponed. Seton Hall was canceled. We beat Elon University 66-54. We played William and Mary. It's a home game. We're going to beat them. Who's their mascot? William and Mary. 81-56.
Guaranteed.
Now for the men, they were supposed to play on Wednesday, Delaware. That got postponed. We played Northwestern. That's a home game. Looking along the lines of 77-69.
Guaranteed.
Also, too, it's also Faculty and Staff Appreciation Day for the Tiger family. So go Tigers! Again, Towson Basketball is really good, looking pretty good this year. Amidst all the cancellations and different things like that, it's really scary. But I hope everybody stays safe. I need to get out there to a basketball game before the season's over for sure. we're going to transition into the WNBA, and that's going to conclude the podcast, episode 11. A couple things I want to talk about. So, Coach Sandy Brondello has been announced as the head coach for the New York Liberty.
Congratulations! Oh my God.
My money was I was really hoping my money would be on Teresa Witherspoon, but I feel like she was the best option out there, honestly and truthfully. Now, for Phoenix, you still got Chastity Melvin, Pokey Chapman, Teresa Witherspoon, Fred Williams. I still like to see him get a possible candidate. Tosh Franklin, another one. I was a little surprised they didn't consider Teresa Witherspoon. I was really surprised by that. Sue Bird is coming back for another year. They for her 21st season, the Seattle Storm on their Twitter, they kind of spoiled. They kind of were like, "Oh, she's coming back," but she's a free agent, so they actually deleted it, the account. So looks like she's going to be back for one more year. Listen, we all know the greatness of Sue Bird. Sue Bird is a Hall of Famer without a shadow of a doubt.
Guaranteed.
I just don't like the fact that she went to that school in Connecticut. No, I'm just kidding. Look, Sue Bird is one of my favorite guards. Nice to see her out there. They're probably going to run it back one more time in Seattle with her, Brianna, and Jewel for sure. Now, as far as free agency goes, a couple things. Well, before I get into, I want to talk about a couple things that I've noticed. But really quick, shout out to Simone Augustus, who got honored by the her LSU Tigers. She obviously retired from the WNBA. She got her. Once there was her jersey retired. No, they was just honoring her. No, I'm sorry. They were just honoring her retirement. That's what it was. So that was great to see that, because the LSU game versus South Carolina should have been televised on TV, but makes no sense to me. I don't get that. Also, too, want to give a shout out to the Triple Threat podcast. They had an episode where they talked about Becky Hammon. Excuse me. They talked about in that episode how was it fair that she didn't, how was it fair that she didn't get consideration for a head coaching job, and said compared to Chauncey Billups, he lacked in coaching experience as well. But that I will leave. Excuse me. I will leave that link in. If I remember to leave that link in the description. I thought that was an interesting topic to talk about for sure. As far as what the WNBA is doing with this top 25 thing, I think the WNBA is actually kind of making what we have wanted them to do before the year. You're just coming off your 25th year, and you didn't really push in enough. You didn't really have us. Here's a story of how the WNBA was formed and different things like that. I feel like I feel like the league, the way it's been marketed and the way it was been pushed towards the end of the season. Now we're talking about, let's revisit top 25 moments. Like, why now? Like, those are like the little things that we're talking about that the league has to fix, which is weird, very, really weird to me. Now, as far as free agency goes, this is how I'm going to break it down for this episode to go. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably break down all 12 teams and their free agents, what I think they need, because the Washington Mystics signed Megan Gustafsson to a training camp contract. Interesting. But in the future episode, you'll see me break down the free agency who stays, who goes, which team needs to address what. Look at their caps. So I got some homework to do on that for sure. Because free agency starts February 1st. Well, actually, they actually in 7 days can start talking to teams, and they can sign on February 1st. Now, the salary cap that was agreed by for the collective bargaining agreement for this year is $1,379,200, and teams must carry at least 11 players and at most 12. The max salary for a free agent in the WNBA for this year for the veterans is $228,000.94, and then the max is $192,267. The minimum for a player, if I remember reading that, was like 60, a little over 60. It's like almost 61,000. And then for 3 or 4 more years, it's $72,141. My gosh, that they need more money. That's how I'm gonna say on that. That right there, like that's the max. That's a super max contract for eligible for super max for eligible veterans, and the max was under 200,000. That's crazy. Okay, so on the 1st, which is New Year, which was a Saturday, teams could give up qualifying offers because those who are restricted free agents or reserve, according to the CBA, or out of contract, they can sign those right away. Or, they can hear what another team's got to offer them. So, for example, Natisha Henderman, she's staying with Connecticut. Lauren Cox and Beatrice Momaprier, she's staying in Connecticut as well. Lauren Cox staying with the Sparks, and Beatrice is staying with Connecticut. Random example. Now, so for example, like all 12 teams can have one core player. For example, I think Brittany Griner and Nneka Ogwumike are the only 2 players that I think are core for their teams respectively. But Sue Bird, Tina Charles, Candace Dupree, who else was it? Sylvia Follows, and I think Angel McCoughtry. I don't think they could get cored. I think even Mike said that about Tina in the action. I don't think they can get cored. Now, looking at this year's free agency, you've got 4 MVPs. Breanna Stewart, Sylvia Follows, Tina Charles, and Jonquel Jones, all free agents. And then Asia Wilson is a free agent, but she's restricted. So most likely, what she can do, she can speak to teams, but they can match whatever. So, for example, if the Washington Mystics, said, "Hey, Asia, come to the nation's capital," they can match the same offer. It's just whatever she wants to take. No, but if they match the offer, they keep her. So, I don't know what the Mystics are going to. I don't know. I'm scared. I think Tina Charles will not stay in DC. Something just gives me those vibes. Tina was great here in Washington. I'm still kind of like really didn't have it processed the fact that wow, she was a mystic. I just can't. I just could not process that. Jonquel Jones, I know, has some family here in the DMV, so I'm hoping that influences her to come back home. We got the first overall pick. We can sign Jonquel Jones. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to find some hope. I'm trying to have faith that's small as a mustard seed because I don't know what my Mystics are going to do in free agency. Brianna Stewart's most likely going to stay in Seattle. I don't see it. Her going anywhere else. And I write real quick. Jonquel Jones will be the only free agent for Connecticut. No, that's right. Yeah, she's the only free agent. I'm sorry. No, I'll take that back. No, this would be her first year of free agency. Scratch that from the record. I'm sorry. What the hell am I talking about? Sylvia Follows, same thing. I think she's probably something tells me she could probably go to a team like Las Vegas.
Guaranteed.
I mean, 2015, she won out of Chicago. She got 2 titles with Maya Moore and Simone Augustus and Lindsay Whalen.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
And also two of her 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards and 2 Finals MVPs. Oh my gosh. I hated those Minnesota Lake teams. I really did. Not literally. No, she's probably I think with Minnesota, I think she peaked. I think she gave Minnesota what she had. I think she's ready to just move on. Personally, I could see someone like Washington throwing some change, throwing a contract at her. She's probably going to go somewhere where she wants to win. So I think Phoenix is too. Her pace is too. Nah, I think she can keep up with her. I think she would fit the pace of their offense. Indiana, nah. Dallas, nah. Connecticut, no. You already got DeWanna Bonner, Ronna Jones, and if you sign Jonquel. That's interesting. Sylvia Follows might be low. She might be the wild card, honestly. She might be the wild card. And then obviously Miss Tina Charles. Yeah. Let's just call it what it is. Not being sarcastic, was the scoring champion this past season. I do not think what we witnessed with the Mystics this year was not what she expected. She wants to win. She wants to win a championship before she calls it a day. And I feel like Washington, he's going to have to really persuade her to run it back one more year. He's going to have to give it to her. Really persuade. I just don't. I don't see it. Again, we're going to break this more down as well. Like we got, with Atlanta, they've got only five girls on the contract. Cheyenne Parker, who just had her first child, congratulations. Tiana Hawkins, Kennedy Carter. Don't know really what that situation. I don't know if she wants to stay or leave. Erin McDonald and then Matt T. Corzola. That's all they got. Everybody else, Elizabeth Williams, Monique Billings, Tiffany Hayes, Courtney Williams, Shakina Strickland, they're all set to be free agents. Now, Angela McCoughtry is a free agent. Angela McCoughtry was number 1 overall pick back in 2009. If I'm saying that right. Angela McCoughtry signing with the Atlanta Dream.
Guaranteed.
She's working out with Kennedy Carter, and it's just giving me those vibes. Chicago. Like, they got Kalia Cooper, Vandersloot Quigley, and as to Nador Fall. They already offered qualifying offers to Lexi Brown and Diamond DeShields. Oh, and then Steffi Dawson as well as a restricted free agent. I forgot about her. Because all they got left that are technically free, that still re-signed up until after this year, is Candace Parker, Azare Stevens, Ruthie Hebard, and Dana Evans. That's it. Damn, that's wow. I want to know how those contracts work. I don't see Emma Mieseman re-sign. I just don't see us re-signing with her because between not last year with the bubble, but in terms of just the overseas commitments, she didn't play at all with us this year, and I just can't see that. Courtney Williams, the Atlanta Dream, after what happened in the during the Olympic break, they said that she wasn't going to be playing. Re-signing her for Atlanta. Now, she is actually in this new league that just started with Athletes Unlimited by Natasha Cloudman. They just started. She actually just started. She's in that league currently. Man, that's just some other example. That's just a taste of what free agency is going to look like. We talk about with Seattle as well. Brianna Stewart, Jewel Lloyd, they're both unrestricted. Don't know what with Jewel. Jewel could probably. I think Jewel could stay, but I got a feeling that a team like Atlanta's going to throw some money at her. But I think she'll stay. Las Vegas. I mean, I think the biggest thing is, what are you going to do about Liz Cambage? She actually just recently cut ties with not only the national team, but her agent as well. Let's be honest. Like, okay. Obviously, Asia Wilson is your franchise piece. Okay. Now she's making around $70,000, and she can make almost up to, I think it's exactly $196,000, somewhere in that area, somewhere in there between 196 and maybe like 200,000. I'll just say that. You got a new coach, Becky Hammond. The Las Vegas Aces did get to the finals without Liz. And this is the same. I mean, obviously, Liz did not play. But Angela McCoughtry suffered ACL injury before the season had started. But Liz decided that she didn't want to play in the bubble with them. And I think Raquana Williams is a free agent as well. Sylvia Follows is going to sign with the Las Vegas Aces.
Guaranteed.
I think that could work. I think it could work low key. I do. I just really thought about it. Because Liz is going to want some money, and a team like New York could really get her. It wouldn't faze me. So, yeah, I mean, as probably in the next episode or two, we'll get more into the off season. I'm excited for it. I'm actually kind of low-key nervous because I don't know who the Mystics are going to sign because we don't have a lot of money to work with, and we got to work with inside the cap. It's going to be an interesting free agency class. I can't wait. But that's going to conclude this episode. Thank you for those that joined me. I hope each and every one of you have a great weekend. Stay safe out here. Another snowy – what snowed last night. But it was a little chilly out there. The wind was crazy. The weather was crazy. But, man, look, just stay safe. Continue to look out for one another. Better days are coming. Let's continue to hit the man upstairs for another day. Until then, I will see y'all in the next episode. You will see me on Sean Spencer's Let's Talk Football, the Roundtable, on Tuesday. And then that Thursday or Friday, I will have another episode. We're getting ready for the playoffs, a playoff preview here. That'll be episode 13. That'll be episode 13 of the podcast. But until then, have a good weekend. Enjoy these games. Stay safe. I will see y'all next week. Peace.
Listen, I'm easy to find. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.